Welcome to the Hashimoto's Doctor Podcast. You're now part of a growing community of people determined to take their health back through education and self-empowerment. But because of the healthcare system today, we don't have access to the types of healthcare that we want. So we have to do things differently. We've got to do things smarter, and we do that by becoming our own advocates. This podcast will give you the perspective and thoughts of one of the world's leading Hashimoto's doctors. So let's get started. Hi everyone, Dr. Shook here. I hope you're doing well today. In today's podcast, I want to talk about a really interesting topic. At least it's interesting to me, and I hope you guys will get a lot of value from this. So I often have people ask me, what is the best probiotic? What probiotic should I be taking? And what do I need to do to keep my gut healthy? Good questions, absolutely good questions, but let me share with you guys something a realization that I had. I realized that a lot of people, they don't need to take a probiotic in a supplement. That's right. I mean, I do have ideas on if you're going to take a supplement, which ones are the best. I do use them with people when I'm trying to help them get as healthy as possible, right? Because a lot of times when we're first working on our health, we're not in great shape, right? We're not in a good place. Our body needs a lot of extra help, right? So though we would like to get the help from the foods that we're eating to help our bodies heal, sometimes our foods don't have the nutrient density that they need. Sometimes we can't get the diversity of foods that we need and the compounds from the food in our diet. So we need to use nutritional supplementation, the vitamins, the minerals, herbs, and healing compounds. So that's why we use supplementation. And probiotics can be a natural and a good fit for that. So the thing I really want to share with you guys is, what is the best probiotic? It's important to understand that the best probiotics are going to come from the foods that you eat, but I am going to share with you guys supplementation that I think is most appropriate. But the place where you really can change your gut, the place where you can really make a difference is actually in the foods that you eat, guys. The foods that you eat is where you're going to have the greatest benefit and make the most change. So I can tell you that, my favorite, let me give you my favorite concoction to help improve your gut bacterial balance, and then I'll talk to you about supplements, okay? So my favorite concoction is this. You take about half a banana. You're going to make a shake. Okay, first of all, we're making a shake here, so a small shake. You take about half a banana. You take a quarter cup of blueberries, quarter cup of raspberries. Take 1 leaf of raw kale. Yes, raw kale, non-cooked raw kale. Take a tablespoon of ground flaxseed and take a teaspoon of chia seed. Now you can mix that in a base of, usually I use water. Some people don't really like that, but I like it. I think it tastes fine. It tastes good. There's some natural sugars from the berries. The banana helps, so it works for me, okay? You could use a base of like a coconut water, or you could use something else, but you want to make sure that there's no sugar added. The last thing we want is a big hit of sugar, because sugar will throw off your gut bacterial balance. So we don't want that, and it will encourage yeast growth. So what we want to do is take this drink, blend it, and a small amount. You want to make this a small shake. You don't want a huge amount of liquid that you can't finish or drink, right? So 8 ounces or less is really what you're shooting for here, and you can kind of tweak the amount of these ingredients and make it a little smaller. You can even cut it in half if you wanted to. But the key would be to drink this every day, once a day, every day. Now I'm going to tell you, some people, I don't recommend seeds if they're autoimmune, especially in the beginning. So the first month, I might have them on a different type of dietary approach. But for most people, they're going to do okay with ground flax and chia. This is going to be a non-immune stimulating shake, and that's important to understand, because one of the things that you want to do is you want to get benefit without making things worse, obviously. So, but this is going to help most people. You may notice some changes in your digestive function. Like you might notice some excessive gas for the first week or two. And the reason for that is because you're eating these foods that are higher in these fibers that are fermentable. So when you consume these foods, when you consume it, you're going to start changing the bacterial balance in your gut. And until the bacteria, you have a more well-rounded and diverse bacterial balance, you're going to have more, you're more likely to have some excessive gas. Okay, so just know that as the bacteria, the colonies change and you start producing more of the bacteria that help you to break down these fibers, you're going to have less unwanted side effects. Okay, so don't worry if you're having a little bit of gas. Normal thing that will and that can occur. Okay, so all right, so that's my concoction to help improve gut bacterial balance. Food is always best if you can do it. If you're not doing well, though, I often do use probiotics with people. So what are the best probiotics? My favorite probiotic is probably, and there's several, right? There's several, like Prescript Assist is one of my favorites. Prescript Assist. VSL number 3 I like a lot. Orthomolecular makes a high potency probiotic. And guys, you're shooting for bacteria, CFUs, colony forming units that are over. You really want to get, if you're using this in an initial protocol to try and reestablish gut bacterial balance, of over at minimum over 100 billion colony forming units. You want to shoot for 250 billion colony forming units, so you might have to take a little bit higher dose of some of these. I know the orthomolecular is 100 billion colony forming units. Now the Prescript Assist is lower, but the Prescript Assist is a more resistant bacteria that tends to colonize better. Okay, so you don't necessarily need as high of a dose of the colony forming units with it, and so you might want to even use a combination of some of these, like the Prescript Assist and maybe, let's say, Orthomolecular's Orthobiotic that has 100 billion colony forming units, a combination to help you hit maybe that 250 colony forming units. That's a reasonable thing to consider. Okay, that's diversity in the bacteria is helpful. So I like those supplements, but I'll tell you what, if you're not dairy sensitive, fermented dairy that does not have sugar added, so talking about kefir that does not have sugar added, looking at yogurt like Greek yogurt that does not, so Greek yogurt because it doesn't have a lot of sugar in it, but definitely not a lot of these commercial yogurts and things that you'll see are just not, they're not that great, and this primarily because they're so high in sugar. Okay, really important to understand that they're high in sugar, and that's going to have a lot of negative side effects, and that includes your gut bacterial balance. So I want to share this with you guys. There are several things you can do, but the best probiotics really come from food, and that's what we want to focus on as much as possible. There are supplements that can be beneficial, but anyway, I hope this has been helpful to you guys. I hope, my mission is to change one person's life at a time. If I do that, I can impact your family in a positive way, your community, and ultimately the world. We want to change the world. We want to make it a better place, and I just want to let you guys know that I appreciate you a lot. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us and let us know if we can help you. But I'll talk to you guys again soon. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed hanging out behind the scenes with Dr. Shook. You can also talk with and learn from Dr. Shook through Facebook Live on our Facebook page at the Office of Dr. Brad Shook. Don't forget, you can also get access to our videos, guidebooks, and thyroid programs at www.drbradshook.com. Oh yeah, and don't forget one more thing. We can change the world one person, one family, and one community at a time. Until next time, remember, today is your day, and no one will tell you who you are and what you can be.